Welcome back to the Murdy Creative Co podcast. I'm your host, Colin Murdy, and today's topic is the Blitz Method. But first, I want to say thank you to everyone who's supported the company so far. If you haven't got a chance, go check us out on the web at murdycreative.co. That's MURDY creative.co. Or you can check us out on Facebook and Instagram by searching at murdycreative.co to see the best of our product shots. Follow us to keep up to date with our daily photos and be the first one to know about new product launches. You can also use the subscribe button at the bottom of our website to be included in all of our new product announcements. Be sure to check out our laser engraving, personalization options, and exclusive colors on the website, or you can blank one on Amazon Prime. All right, so we have been working on coming up with creative ways to musically chair our production process. And mostly what I mean by that is I've talked about previously the idea and the strategic plan about having people move into different areas so that we have cross-training and everyone has experience in every area so that they can cover different areas. And Meryl brought up a good idea when we were at lunch the other day about doing a Blitz method of production where rather than do what we do now, which is that we have one person-ish, maybe two, depending on the time of day, we'll have one person kind of in every area. We'll have someone in cutting, someone in engraving, someone in assembly, and maybe someone in shipping, or we'll have a variety of people moving around from the different places. But for the most part, it's separated. And each of those individuals basically do as much as they can in the area that they can for the full day. And while that works, I think, well, and it's worked fine for us so far, I don't think it's the most creative way to do it, and I don't think it's also the most efficient way to do it. I talked about this briefly in a previous podcast. I can't remember exactly how far I went into it, so I'm going to talk about it a little more here. But all of the spaces, when we moved into this place, this workshop, we specifically had set it up so that it could work with multiple people in each area. So obviously, so that once we have those people and we have the demand for it, we can optimize the production facility for that purpose. We didn't need to move things around a lot. We designed it so that we designed the workshop in the way that we will need it when we grow to be a big company. We'll need to be able to have it work that way. However, I realize that while we're still a small company, it's not a particularly efficient use of space or the machinery. Because, for example, we have a cutting table and then a press. And the idea behind the room was that you'd have one or two people at the cutting table working on a single hide, cutting roughs, and then that would go to the press operator who would be basically pressing them out at the same time, right? So you'd get that efficiency. And then you'd have two people or three people in engraving because there's 6 engravers in that room and you can't operate all 6 as an individual. It's just too much. So you operate the ones you can, and then you end up getting to a point where you would have multiple desks. We have 6 desks in assembly. So you'd have multiple people be able to assemble at the same time, and then you'd have multiple people, the shipping center set up to functionally work with about 3 people, optimally. So because all of these different areas of the workshop were designed to work with multiple people in mind, they do work with individuals, but perhaps not as well as they could. And we're missing opportunities to be able to be more productive in a smaller amount of time. So we transitioned to a new idea, which is what we call the Blitz. And the Blitz is this. If you go on our website right now and you go to purchase a product, it'll say on the top of that product a timeline of when you order, when it'll be made, and then when it'll be shipped and delivered, right? So it'll have specific dates based off of the day of the week and the amount of time that we have for our lead time and a variety of other things. And so what we do is we know on the order ticket that's printed, we know when you're supposed to receive it. We know what day it needs to be made by. Like we have a pretty good handle on that. So because we know what day it needs to be made by and shipped by, we have a target date in mind from a production standpoint where we know that we need for sure to get through this date by this time. Now, that means that there's a specific number of products that need to be made in the during the day, and then there's a stretch goal, right? We'd love to be able to get through this additional time. We've been building tools to be able to say, okay, well, we know that if we're going to get through that day, we've got to make, 70 items, okay? And 70 items are this many slim cuts and this many wide cuts and this many classic cuts and this many of so on and so forth of a variety of types. And we know that each one of those things will take probably this long, quote unquote, approximately to assemble. And we know it's probably going to take about this much time shipping. And so we've been able to say, okay, if it's going to take, I'll just pick a number. Let's say, so say 70, say it would take one person doing nothing but assembly 8 hours to do that. Well, if we've got 4 people doing it, it should only take 2 hours, depending on how it's going, maybe even faster. And from a cutting perspective, if we had 2 or 3 people in the cutting room, we could probably get all of those things cut in probably an hour and a half, maybe. And we could get those things all engraved. If all 6 engravers were running with 2 or 3 people running them, we could probably get that all engraved in maybe 2 hours, right? So now we've taken something that would take a cutter by themselves probably at least half the day. And you'd take the engraving system, which would take probably most, if not all of the day, potentially to do that. And you take a single assembler all day, right? And a shipping person who's working. So now you're taking all of those different roles. And for example, a cutter could cut 150 items a day. So if the cutter gets finished early and there's still work to be done, they can move around. But it's all kind of all over the place. So instead, what we've done is this. We've said we're going to front load the operation, and we're going to have 3 people in cutting in the morning, cutting all of them. And then we're going to have 1 person from the beginning, and then eventually it'll be 3 people in the engraving room. And then all of those people will move into assembly and will assemble. And then everyone will move into shipping and will ship. What we found, and it's still early in the process, so we could find that this doesn't work in the long term, but what we found is that our production and our productivity goes up immensely. What would normally be something that would take the full day, like the specific number of items might take the full day to make under normal circumstances, we're able to get all of those done in 6 hours. And while mathematically you think to yourself, I don't know why that is the way it is, I think it makes a lot of sense when you think about the fact that when you do something, the same task, whether it be assembly or cutting or engraving, for 8 hours a day, for the full day, you aren't nearly as productive at the end of the day as you are at the beginning of the day. I mean, think about it in whatever job you do. If you did the same thing over and over for hours and hours and hours on end, you wouldn't nearly be, it's exhausting mentally, physically. You just kind of get tired of doing it, right? It's also kind of boring. Like, it's not very fun. By doing this method of this blitz production, where we say, okay, we're going to start from the beginning, we're going to make, and then we're going to move and move and move. What it does is it allows for us to have people who are doing new things every 2 hours, basically, right? You're starting in one place, you're doing this thing, you're energized, you're excited, you're going fast. And then right about the time that you're kind of getting bored of it, you move on to a new thing, and you're excited, and you're energized, and you're kind of getting through it, right? And then all of a sudden, you're kind of getting bored of that. Now you move on to the new thing. And so it allows people to have a variety of activities during the day that they're part of, and it's exciting and engaging. And I think it's really produced a much, much better result from a purpose of a speed and efficiency from a production standpoint than any of our other previous methods have. I don't know how this is going to work during our busy season. I actually don't know if it'll really functionally be able to work during our busy season the way we really need it to. Because during our busy season, we can have upwards of 200 or 300 things that need to be made during the day. And at that point, we really need to staff the place where there's 3 people in every area anyway. Now, we may still do some job rotation throughout the day. I haven't figured out how we'd apply this principle, but I like the principle of you doing one thing for a few hours and then moving on to a new thing and then doing a new thing. And I think it's going to be, it's actually, there's a lot less burnout as well. Because, for example, the engraving room, from a production standpoint, doing engraving is a very mentally challenging task. And it's mostly because you're kind of playing air traffic controller, right? You've got, at most, 6 machines running simultaneously, each with a different thing on them, each with a different amount of time it's going to take. And your job is to say, how do I set this up so that I've got all of them running as fast as they can all the time? And that's incredibly challenging mentally. It's exhausting, and it's loud in that room. The machines make noise, and the air is blowing, and there's smoke being produced. It's just a very mentally exhausting, challenging task. So by saying, okay, instead of you doing it by yourself poorly for 8 hours, we're going to have 3 people in there total. You, by the way, aren't going to be alone, which I didn't realize how big of a deal that is. That's actually a really big deal. I'm learning that for people working in a room by themselves, it's really challenging to not just be totally just winded down. Whereas if you've got other people in the room working with you at the same task, it's just naturally invigorating. So I think that this method, this blitz method, is actually going to be very good for us, especially during our slow season, when the goal is to be as lean and mean and most productive as we possibly can, because then we can get by with fewer hours if we need to. We can get by with necessarily not needing to hire additional staff. And we can get by saying that we are going to, it allows for, if we do get done early-ish, it allows for our administrative staff, who are at this point also helping with assembly, to go do other administrative tasks, which is good. So all in all, I actually think this method is going to work out really well for us during our slow season. And it is that's one more little innovation that I think allows for us as a company to be a really effective production company, despite the fact that we're small and, scrappy. So, all right, folks, thanks for tuning in today. Be sure to check back in next Tuesday for our next topic. Don't forget to check that subscribe button as well as notification bell to get notified when we launch the latest podcast. If you have any questions or concerns about your leather binder, journal, folio, accessory, anything else we sell, please feel free to contact us on the main page of our website at Murdy Creative Co. Or you can contact us via email. You can also contact us via social media. It's a little bit quicker for you to contact us via email or the live chat on the website. We try to get back to you as soon as possible. We do appreciate your patience. If you have a quick question or you want to place an order over the phone, please feel free to call us at 414-434-9001. We're available Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Central Time. You can also text us at that number as well, 414-434-9001. If for whatever reason you don't get a hold of us either during business hours or after hours, please do feel free to leave us a voicemail. We do respond to those. We get back to those as soon as we can. If you're calling about a specific order and you leave a voicemail, please include the order number. It starts with S and then is followed by a series of digits. That allows us to identify exactly kind of what we're talking about in the process early on. If you think we deserve it, a good review can go a long way to help us grow in your community. Both a review on the podcast and whatever app you're listening on, as well as a review on the product itself. You go to murdycreative.co/reviews to read all of our amazing 5-star reviews. There's a button there that says leave us a good review. You click on that, it'll take you to facebook.com/murdycreative.co/reviews. And you can leave us a good review there. If you would like to leave us a bad review, there's another button on the page that says get directly in contact with us. Please, 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 before you leave us a bad review, give us an opportunity to make things right. We will do anything in our power, including refunding, recrafting, pretty much anything. We just need an opportunity to do so. So please, before you leave us a bad review, give us an opportunity to make it right, and we will. Word of mouth is the best form of advertising, so please tell your friends about the company. You want to get a little something for doing that, be sure to log in at the top of the website with the little person icon. Once you're logged in, you get 10% back on any purchase as in-store credit. So it's a great opportunity to get a little something for that, as well as a shareable link. If you go to the main page of our website, the bottom left-hand corner, there's a little button. You click on that, it'll open the rewards tab. Not only can you see how many points you've earned as a return, something you can spend in the shop as credit, but also there's a shareable link in that tab as well. That shareable link allows, if you share that with your friends and family, gives them $10 off their first purchase, and it gives you $10 back as in-store credit. So it's a great opportunity for you to help share the company and get a little something for doing that. If you have any podcast topics you want to hear more about, send them my way. I'm always happy to talk about just about anything, and I'm always looking for topics. So please reach out. If you're looking for multiple binders, journals, folios, anything we sell for gifts, giveaways, menus, really any reason, we do have bulk discounts available on the website. They are built directly into the website, so all you need to do is add whatever you want to the cart. It's merely based off the total cart quantity. So you can mix and match products to your heart's desire, add everything you want to your cart, build that perfect package for yourself or your team, and hit checkout. When you do that, an automatic discount will be applied. The automatic discounts begin at 5, quantity 5, and go up from there. And you'll be able to get all of those just directly on the website. If you're looking for a custom engraved item, we have no minimum order quantities and no setup fees. It's a simple flat fee, normally $15, and that is pre-book discount. So if you're going to get a whole bunch of them, it actually can go down quite a bit from there. One other thing about that is we have the customizer built into the website. So most products have a add custom engraving or add logo engraving button on their product page. If you click on that, it'll take you through the process to launch the customizer. Once you launch the customizer, you'll be able to add logos yourself or text or anything like that. You'll be able to just add and mix and match and build your own perfect design on the cover of the journal itself or the product itself, and then click add to cart. It'll automatically apply the appropriate cost, and it'll build the custom item in your cart. When you check out that item, we actually get a file that's associated with that specific product. It allows us to tie it directly based off what you crafted. So it's a great way to get that custom item done quickly and easily. If you do not see that button, please send us an email, sales@murdycreative.co, sales@murdycreative.co, mentioning that you want a custom item. Include what item you're looking for, as well as any additional logos or anything like that. We can create a custom order mock-up for you, as well as an order link to use. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great day, and goodbye.